and thank you for joining me for Friday Night Kinda Live. So, a little bit about tonight. Well, my plan was to do this as a live. However, this morning, which is actually Tuesday, May 21st, when I got up, I looked at the weather forecast and all that on what it was going to be like. And according to the forecast, we're supposed to be getting isolated or scattered thunderstorms between late tonight all the way through Monday as well. So, without taking a chance that, weather can get severe, I could lose power or I'll be in the middle of doing a live and all of a sudden, oh, the power goes out. I just figured, well, you know what? I knew what it was that I was going to work with, and the projects came together very, very quickly and very easily this time. So I thought, why not go ahead and just get it done early? And then what I do is with my kind of lives, if you're new to my channel, I do go live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard. Now, in the event, if I something comes up and there's another prior commitment that I have for a Friday, instead of just skipping the Friday with no video, I go ahead and I will pre-record it earlier and then schedule it to post at 7 p.m. on my channel. So that's why I kind of call it kinda Friday night kinda live. So welcome everyone who is here watching, which would be the replay because no one's on here watching it live with me. So tonight we're going to be working with a really fun new bundle that's in our new catalog. Just a little bit of info before we get started. I do want to make mention about joining a starter kit special promotion that Stampin' Up has going on currently, and this goes until May 31st. So actually, it'll be next Friday that this promotion goes till. So with the starter kit, the rest of it is $99 plus tax. The shipping is free. You get to choose $125 of product of your choosing. So that's anything that may be in our current catalog, anything that's in our online exclusives, including the clearance rack. So basically, if you go to the Stampin' Up website, pretty much I think everything on there you can put into your starter kit. So in addition to that, typically you would also get a paper pumpkin kit. So you would get, this is just like a sample. You'll get like a past paper pumpkin kit, and the kits are like an all-inclusive kit. So it includes a little ink spot, the stamp set, all the cardstock pieces and everything to create the projects that are in the box. And it just, that way you're able to see what it's all about. And if it's something that you're interested in, you have two options of subscribing to it. You can subscribe to it monthly, or you can do a prepaid type of subscription. So you get one of those in your starter kit. You'll also get like some business type of related stuff. So you'll get an 8-pack of current catalogs, which is this one right here. You'll also get like some postcards. Now, postcards, you may not use them, but I'll tell you what, a little tip, what I use them for. If I go to mail my cards out, if I have any type of embellishment that's on my card, what I do is I take one of those invitations, I'll put it on top of my card and put it in the envelope. So then that way, when that envelope goes through that postal machine, it won't tear the envelope with the embellishment, poking through. So you'll get that. You'll get a couple of like other business type of items. Now, to become, to be a demo, do you have to, hold classes? Do you have to do videos like I'm doing? No, you don't. You could simply be a hobby demo or a discount shopper. Basically, you're a demo just receiving, getting all your crafting supplies at a discount. There are also some other pretty cool perks to being a demo. Stampin' Up! Does have demonstrator-only events that you can attend. We also get to see the catalog before it goes live to customers. And the month before that catalog goes live, we also get to pre-order out of the catalog as well. And also, if you join with me, you'll be part of my Blue City Stampers team, and there are some big plans that I have for my team. There's a few special incentives that I currently have. So all of the PDFs that I create, this is just an example. It's gives you a list of all the products that I use, the link here that takes you back to this video, and then I'm not going to show you what's in it because I want it to be a surprise as we work on our projects, but there is a picture of each of the product projects, and then there's also a listing of the materials that I also use for it. So you would get this for free. Now, this is for my Friday night lives and kind of lives. And then every month, I do hold an in-person class. And for that class, I also have a PDF for those projects that we create as well. So members of the Blue City Stampers family have access to those PDFs for free. And, again, my team is growing, so I'm really looking on adding some more special perks for my team. But back to the starter kit special. So right now until May 31st, in addition to your starter kit where you get to choose that $125 of product, you will also get some of the 2024 to 2026 in color products. You will get a whole 5-pack of the new in colors of the ink pads. The colors are Shy Shamrock, Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, Summer Splash, and Pretty in Pink. You will also get a whole pack of the 6x6 Designer Series paper. You'll get a whole pack, a variety of the 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So this is a pack of 20, and you'll get 4 sheets of each color. And then you'll also get a pack of the in color Stampin' Right markers as well. So all of this here is an $82 value in addition to that product that you get to choose for your kit. Again, this goes until the end of this month. So you're watching this on May 24th. So next Friday is the last day to take advantage of this promotion. If you have any questions at all, my email address is in the description of this video. Please feel free to reach out and ask me any questions that you may have, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Also, if you are not currently working with a demonstrator and you would like a copy of our new annual catalog, again, my email address is in the description of this video. Simply let me know that you would like one, include your full name and your full mailing address, and I'll get one of these out to you. Now, also in a couple of months, let me see, from September to December, we'll have that holiday mini catalog. So in July, I believe it will be, we have the opportunity to add people to have Stampin' Up! Send the new holiday catalog out to customers on our behalf. So that's coming. So I will add you also to that list as well. So I want to show you what it is that we're going to be working with tonight. So, like I mentioned in my last Friday Night Live, we did the Grassy Grove bundle. It was a bundle that stuck with us for quite a while. It's currently in this catalog as well. And I mentioned that I had two new bundles that were actually, well, yeah, one bundle and one new suite of product that was coming. And it was a matter of, okay, which one was I going to work with first? So this is the Layers of Beauty. This is what I'm going to work with today. This entire bundle consists of this photopolymer stamp set. So let me kind of pull that out. So there's the stamp set. And then it also comes with a set of dies. And then along with this bundle, it also comes with a pack of decorative masks. So there's 5 decorative masks. These are well, Stampin' Up! Calls them decorative masks, but they're like stencils. So you have 3 of them here. This all like coordinates with this large rose image right here. So you have 3 um, that go to the rose part, and then you have 2 more that are for the greenery part of it. So when I first played with this morning, I'll tell you what, I fell absolutely in love with this, and I'm actually going to order me another set of these decorative masks because they're just really cool. And you're going to see as we create that I'm going to tell you right now, chances are you're going to get ink on your fingers. I mean, my fingers look, well, yeah, my thumb's a little inky, but yeah, it is a little bit messy, but it's so much fun, working with this whole bundle. Now, what I'm going to do for next Friday. So, as far as I know, next Friday it will be alive. Again, the only thing that would change that would be if something, unexpectedly comes up, or if there's a chance that there may be some nasty weather. But as of right now, I'll be going live, and this will be the suite of product that I will be using for next Friday, the full of life. So I really love this 6x6 watercolor type paper. These embellishments are really sparkly and very pretty. And so is this ribbon that goes with it as well. So I'm looking forward to playing with this one as well. So let me move this aside and let's go ahead and get started. Now, let's see, I got my PDF right here, so that way I can kind of follow along with it. Now, for these projects, we're going to be using blending brushes. Now, the brushes that I have, these are ones that I had bought, like way back when. This was before Stampin' Up! Came out with their blending brushes. So since I have like quite a few of these, I thought, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and I'll use these for my projects. So we'll have one that's for all my pinks, my reds, my blues, etc. And so I just kind of clean before I use them in a new color. So let me, what am I doing? What am I doing? So let me kind of put my card aside that I'm going to be doing. Now, the other thing also, if you're just creating like one card, you can, once you get done using these decorative masks, you can simply just, go to the sink and you can rinse them off. The ink will come right off of them. If in the case like, tonight, I'm creating 3 projects with these. So I do have some, um, some baby wipes. These don't have any alcohol in them, and I'm going to be using these to clean my stencils in between our projects. Okay, so for my first card, let me bring in all the little bits and pieces that I'm going to use for this one. So for this one, I have a piece of basic white. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of blueberry bushel. This measures 5.25 by 4. I have this piece here. This is 4.25 by 1/2. And then I do have a scrap piece of basic white. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. And I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to bring in more paper, more scrap paper. You may find that I may come in with more paper because ink will get on this, and when it does, it's just going to make a big mess and all that. And I want to kind of keep this surface clean so it's easier for you to follow along. One thing I do want to make mention before we start, if you like the projects that I am making tonight and you would like the free card kits, now the free card kits contain the embellishments and all the cardstock pieces to make the cards. Now you would need the stamp set along with the dies and the decorative masks to complete the projects. Now, if you don't want that bundle, that's okay. You can use whatever it is that you have, and you can just utilize the pieces of the card kits. To get it free, it's a minimum $35 order. Um, Placed in my online store. The link is in the description of this video, and the order would be by midnight on Wednesday, the May 29th. Okay, so I just wanted to make mention of that. And so let me go ahead and let me put this down. Now I'm going to bring in, where's my stamp set? You need the stamp set. That would work, right? Okay, so we're going to be using this big rose flower bunch, and this is a pretty big stamp, as you can see. It's pretty big. So for this, I am going to use we have a block, and this is our largest block. Which block is this one? This one is F. So this is the one that this is going to fit on. So I'm going to put this on my block. This is the size block we would use on our background stamps. Okay, so then on this piece, I'm going to bring in, I have a lot of inks out that we're going to be using for our projects. So let me kind of bring these out. Let's see. All right, so for this particular card, we're going to be using Night of Navy, Blueberry Bushel, Balmy Blue, Azure Afternoon, and then for our greenery on our card, we're going to use, Granny Apple Green and Old Olive. Okay, I got a little bin over to my left-hand side here that has all my little things that I need. Okay, so for this piece, I'm going to start off with my Blueberry Bushel ink, and I'm going to ink up my stamp. And because this stamp is bigger, I'm going to take the ink pad to the stamp. It's a lot easier, and I don't risk getting ink all over the block. So then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to basically fill in my background here. Now, most of this is going to be covered up, but I want to have some kind of detail in my background. So instead of using an embossing folder on this one, I'm just going to stamp the background. Okay. And then I'm going to come in and kind of fill in down here. Okay. Next, I'm going to ink this up just a little bit. Move that. I just want to fill in just this little spot right over here. So that's nice filled in background. So I'm going to set that aside. And actually what I'm going to do is I can take this and I can place this onto my card base. Move things aside. And then I'm going to center this like so. Okay, now I'll set that aside. Then also in the stamp set, we have a greeting that says, "You make my heart smile." I'll pull that out and bring in my block. And I can see it's upside down. And then that strip that I have right here, what I'm going to do is let me move that out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet to stamp on this, since it'll be a little bit easier for me in seeing exactly where this strip is. So I can get this as straight as I can. So this greeting, "You make my heart smile," I'm going to ink that up in my blueberry partial, and I'm going to stamp that right in the middle, like so. Okay, and let me bring in my chamois. I'll be doing a lot of cleaning of my stamps and also my brushes as well, my decorative masks as well, because things will get a little bit messy as we go. I can already see it. Okay, so that's clean. Okay, and then let me dry this. I'm just going to tap it on my clothes. I am not wearing white, so we're good. Okay, just want to make sure that's dry. Okay, and then I'm going to close up this ink for now. And then with this grading piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the ends at an angle. Like so. Okay, so I'll take that and I'll set that aside and move my scissors out of the way. Okay, and then we'll move this out of the way. Now for this scrap piece of white right here, I'm going to ink up this big stamp again. This time I'm going to ink it up in my night and navy ink. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to stamp this down right here. Let me close up this ink pad. Maybe. Yeah, yeah. We're only using the night and navy on this. Okay, so I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this. So then that way when we go to use it for our next card, it should be dry. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a little bit of Scotch tape. You can do this too with yeah, with some washi tape as well. I want to bring in another piece of scrap paper. Trying to find one that's fairly clean. And let's see, put this down. You can see look at all the blue ink on my finger already. I think it's on my chamois, and I did rinse that chamois out before I started. So yeah, I'm gonna have look, it's all over my hands. Wow. I guess you're not really stamping or creating unless you get a little inky, right? Okay, so now let me show you how these masks work. So on these masks, you will see that up in the very top here, there's this little notch. And then each one of these masks have numbers. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if this was a bigger piece, what I could do is I could take this particular mask and I can line it up. Let's see, line it up. Let me turn it around. So I can line it up like this. So the way to line, the rest of the dies up, what I can do, since this is taped down, okay, let me bring in another piece of tape. And we're going to add, going to kind of line up within the lines of the flower. Now, one of the things you can do, so it's easy to line this up with the next layers of these masks, you can take your blending brush and you can add, I don't know if I got any ink on here, but you can add a little bit like right over here, and that way you'll know where to line up the next mask. Okay, so since I have this down right now, I'm going to put my first color. I'm going to start off. This is the more open area, so I'm going to start off with my lighter color. So I'm going to use Balmy Blue, and I'm going to make sure that this is fairly clean. I did kind of clean these a bit before I started since I had darker color on it. So then I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to lightly go over the openings of this mask. Now I don't want to go really hard because if there's any little pieces like this that get caught, they could end up bending. So I just want to take some of that excess ink off. And I'm going to just lightly go over these openings here. When I first started playing with this, I'll tell you what, I was like completely, and it was a wow, because these flowers, the way they came out, the colors on them just really popped. And I just love how the colors just layer down to give you like all those shadows and all that. So it is really, really cool. As a matter of fact, since I know this is going to be something that I'm definitely going to be using quite a bit, I am going to be ordering myself another set of these masks. So you can get the individual components separately, which is the stamp set, the set of dies, and these masks. Or you can get the whole all three in a bundle and save 10%. I'm just going to go over this a little bit more. Okay. And then, like I was mentioning about knowing where to line up the next um, mask, I'm going to add some ink right down here. Okay. So I'm going to remove this. Okay. You can see it just colored in those few items right there. Now what I'm going to do is as I go, I'm going to bring in my wipes and I'm going to wipe this off. So then that way it's clean and it's dry for my next project. And again, to clean these, all you have to do is just simply run them under underwater and they'll come clean. You can air dry them. What I've done is I've gone and dried them. Just lay it down on a towel and then fold the towel over it and just pat it dry. I think I got all the glue off of that. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and then I'm going to bring in my second mask and I'm going to close this up. We're done with that blue. Okay, and then for this one, again, you can see that the little notch is right there, so that helps in lining this up. So I'm going to bring in my tape again. And I'm going to line this up. So I'm going to tape this down. And then I'm going to bring in my Azure Afternoon. Now, since the brush that I have for my blue, since I did the Balmy Blue and that's lighter, I'm not going to have to really worry about really getting this, like all the ink out of it, since this color here is a darker color. So I'm going to ink that up and I'm going to go over again. A little more ink. Add some over here. Okay. Let me close this up. I'm gonna put that aside. And then I'll remove this. And you can see color variation. It's just so, so pretty. And bring in my wipe and let me clean this off. Now, when you're wiping this off, you want to be careful because when you got little pieces like that, you don't want your wipe to get caught on it. Yeah, if I'm doing cards and I want to do a bunch of different colors, it's one of the reasons why I decided I want to get another set of these masks. Okay, let me bring in another. I'm going to end up going through a lot of these wipes, and I know I'm gonna my fingers are gonna be completely full of ink. So make sure I get all of that ink off of there. And then where did I set the other one? Let me put that one over there. Okay, now let me bring in our third mask. So it goes this way. And let me bring in my tape. And let me line this up. Like so. Right there. And then I'm going to bring in my blueberry bushel. Ink this up. And I'm going to brush over these openings. And get down here. Okay. And a little bit more these flower centers. Okay. So let's close that up. Okay, and let's remove this and reveal. So our whole flower, all our flowers are complete. Isn't that is just absolutely beautiful. I love that. Okay, and then let me get my wipe and let me clean this off. Okay, right, so we got that one clean. All right, we'll get rid of this since we got quite a bit of blue on it. Yeah, look at that. Blue fingers. Okay. So now we're going to do the leaf part. So I'm going to take this mask number 4. I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to line this up along with the notch and with the outline of these leaves. Okay, and I'll take this down. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to bring in my granny apple green. So your larger area, your larger opening of your mask is the lighter color, and then the one that's got the finer detail, this would be your darker color. So I'm going to bring in my brush for my green, and I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my leaves. So what's nice with this bundle, it's very versatile. So you can stamp the image and you can use your blending brushes and these decorative masks to do the coloring for them. You can also, you can do this, you can watercolor. Words are hard, I tell you. You can do watercoloring with this. You would just want to use the Stays On Jet Black ink or any type of Stays On ink. Stamp that and do it on watercolor paper. Watercolor paper is the best bet when doing any type of watercoloring. You can use colored pencils. You can use your Stampin' blends or your alcohol markers to color in the image as well. So there's a lot of versatility with this bundle. And again, just play with different colors because I hadn't made a sample of it yet, but I really like those roses that have the pink and the yellow in them. And so I'll probably do a few cards with that. Now, next month, I've already figured out what I'm going to do for my in-person class. So if you are local to me here in Memphis, every month I do have an in-person class. And my next class will be on Saturday, June 15th. My classes will always be in-person classes, will always be on a Saturday. And we meet from 11 to about 3 o'clock. And for next month, I will be using the Take to the Sky suite of products. So that is the suite that has the vintage airplanes in it. So those cards are going to be more of a masculine type feel. And so if you're interested in coming, if you're local and interested in coming to that class, my email is down below. If you're also interested in anything that I may be doing, there is a link in the description for my newsletter. Just click on the link and you put in your email, your name and your email and all that, and you'll be added to my newsletter list. Now, on my newsletter, I typically send that out at the beginning of the month, so I'll have one going out at the end of next week. I typically just do one, but I had done one just recently, not all that long ago, I think like maybe 2 days ago, for the free shipping promotion, the free shipping promotion, I guess, that Stampin' Up! Had for one day only, which is today, May 21st, Tuesday, May 21st, that when I'm recording this. So whenever there's something special that's coming up, I will send something like that out because at the time when I send it, I don't know about it in advance. Usually it's kind of one of those last minute type things that we don't have advanced knowledge of it happening. So I did send out a newsletter to my newsletter subscribers letting them know about that. So other than that, I mean, I'm not going to bombard you with a whole bunch of emails every single month. So if you're interested in that, again, the link for the newsletter is below in the description. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my old olive ink. And again, since this is darker than the Granny Apple Green, I don't have to worry so much about cleaning it. So now I'm going to go over this, and I'm adding some of this darker green into my leaves. And a little bit more. Okay. Finger gets a little stiff and kind of jams up a little bit from holding that down. Okay, so we're done with this. Now for the big reveal of our image. Isn't that like just absolutely gorgeous? I mean, look at that. I absolutely love that. I wish we had blue roses like that. Love, love, love it. I'm going to wipe this off. I want to do this so that way I'm giving it a chance to dry before I use it on my next card. Okay, so let me put this aside somewhere. Okay, and I'll get rid of that. And let me remove this off of here, and I'll tuck back the tape on it. Now, usually when I do my lives, I kind of do the die cutting and kind of like those tedious things ahead of time. However, since I really couldn't die cut this first until until I colored this in, I need to do that now. So I'm going to bring in, where are the dies? So in the dies, there is this large die here that will cut that out. So let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and put that there. And then let me bring in my my plates. So I have plate number 1, which is my base plate. I have plate number 2, which is the die adapter, and then fairly new cutting plates. I was overdue for using new ones because the other ones were so badly scratched up and warped that it was time to bring out the new ones. Okay, so then I'm going to line this up. Try and get it lined up. And I'm going to use some Post-it tape. Now, Stampin' Up! Does not sell this. I did get this off of Amazon, and I do have it linked down below. And we'll put one more over here. Okay, and put our plate on here. Run it through. Okay. And then we'll move this out of the way. And take this all off. And actually, I'm going to use some new Post-it tape. The Post-it tape will last quite a while. And when it gets to the point where it's like it's tearing and falling apart and all that, that's when I'll go and replace it with some new. Okay, so then there is our really pretty rose cluster. Let me put my die aside. We don't want to lose our dies. Okay, so then let me bring in my card. On the back of this, I'm going to add some dimensionals. Add some these pieces here that stick out. One there, there. Okay, put that aside. Take all these backings off. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to place it right down, let's see, place it right about here. Okay, and then what I want to do, I want to bring in my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to add some of this onto my flowers. And this one looks like it needs to be replaced. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the flowers. The other thing I like about with the Wink of Stella is that whatever it is that I put it on, the color underneath, not only does it add the sparkle to it, but it also makes it a little bit more vibrant as well. And I know that when I'm using this, that it's also pulling some of that darker blue ink. So when I'm done adding my Wink of Stella to these flowers, I want to just clean my brush on a scrap piece of paper. So that way when I go to use it on my next cards, I don't transfer that blue ink. So there's definitely a real wow factor with these images with using those decorative masks to do the ink blending. You can see that I'm pulling some of that darker blue because it is blending in with that balmy blue. Then we got these little things right over here. Okay, and then let me bring in the scratch paper and I'm going to brush this off just to get some of that blue off. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals again, and I'm going to add one on either side of my banner here. Now, since it's going across here, I don't need to add one in the middle since the base of that flower is already raised up on a dimensional. I'm going to take this and I'm going to add this right here. And then for my embellishments, I'm going to bring in the iridescent pearls basic jewels. These are currently in our annual catalog. These did carry over. So let me bring in my take your pick tool, and I'm going to add a few of these on here. So I'm going to take a larger one, I'll put it there, and then take one and put it up here, and then one more. I'll place that one right over here. Okay, so let me put that aside, and there is our first card. It took a bit, but there's our first card. Okay, so let me kind of clean a little bit up here, and let me bring in all the stuff that I need for my second card. I'll pull all these pieces out and put that aside. Okay, so we cleaned that, so we're good with that. Our blue brush, let's move that out of the way because we are done with that color. I don't want to, my space is kind of limited. So if there's too much stuff laying around, I know that there's going to be ink on things that I don't want it to be on. Okay, so let me bring in the next card. So for my next one, let's kind of move things out of the way. I'm kind of following along with my PDF that I have over here on the side. Okay, so for this card, I have a piece of bubble bath. This measures 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of pebbled path. This measures 5.25 by 4. Now, some things I did go ahead and emboss and die cut ahead of time. But when it comes to those roses, I have to do that after I've stamped them. Okay, so with that being said, I have a piece of basic white. This measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and I have ahead of time embossed that using the Distressed Tile 3D embossing folder. And then I have 2 scraps of basic white. So I'm going to be basically stamping that big rose image twice. And then I have this circle here. This comes from the Stylish Shape Styles. Okay, so for this one, let me fold and burnish this. And get my bone folder. And we'll fold that. And then on this piece, I want to kind of move this out of the way because now we're going to be making another mess. So for this white piece here that I've embossed, now this was a tool that Stampin' Up! Had way back when, like when I first joined back in 2013, and I don't know if this was actually in the catalog or if it was in a clearance rack or what, but they had, this is a color spritzing tool. Now, I remember, really, it was a few years ago, I remember seeing something very similar to this in Hobby Lobby. I think, was it um, Tim Holtz or Ranger, one of the two, but now I don't see it in there. And I tried to do a search for this in off of Amazon, couldn't find it. So basically what this is, you can put your marker in here, and when you squeeze it, it blows the air out to where you then spritz it onto your paper. Now there's like two different ways. I don't know if there could be another way, but one of the ways that you can do this is you can take the brush tip of your marker and in your cap, and you can flick it and you'll get splatters on there. You could go and scribble on one of the acrylic. You can scribble it on your acrylic block and then use maybe a water painter with just a little bit of water, and you can pick up some of that ink and then you can tap it onto your paper. Um, I will tell you that when you do the cap method with this, at some point you will start fraying your marker tip. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take this and let me loosen up this. So I'm going to put my marker in, and I don't want this tip on my actual brush tip. I want it just before it. I'm going to tighten this up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spritz this a little bit like so, just to add a little bit of interest to that background. Okay, and we'll close this up. And this is Mood Mauve. The markers, you cannot, they're not available individually. This would be a part of, it's a 5-pack. This is part of our 2023, 20, excuse me, hold on a second here. I got the list. I got the list here. Let me make sure I say something right. This is the um, 2023 to 2025 in colors. This is part of the 5-pack, just like the 5-pack that I showed you that's in the starter kit promotion currently going on. Instead, this is in the 5-pack with 4 other colors that came out last year that carried over for another year. Okay, so I got nice splattered background here. So I'm going to take this piece, add some adhesive to the back of it, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to adhere it to my Pebble Path piece, so, and then I'll add more adhesive to the back of this Pebble Path piece, and I will put that on my Bubble Bath card base, like so. Okay, set that aside. Now on my greeting, let me bring in my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to bring in, so the colors of ink I'm going to use on this project are Pebble Path, Moody Mauve, and Bubble Bath. So I'm going to take my Moody Mauve and I'm going to get my greeting that says grateful for you. Which one is it? I think it's this one right here. Yep. And let me get a block and ink that up. And I'm going to stamp that right in the middle. Okay. And let me bring in my chamois. Let me clean this. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, so this is going to go on top of my card base. So this way it stands out a little bit. I'm going to add a little color around the outer edge of my die cut. So I'm going to open up my Bubble Bath. I'm going to just simply hold it like this, and I'm going to roll it in my ink pad. And try not to put my fingers in it. And you can see there's a little bit of color around the outer edge of that. Okay, so let me close this up. Okay. Now, let me bring in, now these two pieces of scrap are the same size. So what I'm going to do, my great big image here, I'm going to ink that up in my Pebble Path. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp it down so that way it fits on that piece. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp it one more time. Okay, let's line this up. So, and you can see I got some ink on the block. So I want to try not putting my fingers in that. Okay, we'll set that aside. Oops. Okay, now let me clean this way. It'll be dry when we go to do our last card. Whoops. Starting to run out of room up here. Okay. Ooh, inky fingers. All right. So now one of these I'm not going to color it. It'll get die cut with that big die. So I'm going to set that aside. Now on this one, this is going to be the one that I do my ink blending on. So let me bring in my decorative mask. So this is, let me tape this down. Where'd I put my tape? Where'd I put the tape? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I want to hold this down. So I'll put some up here. And I'll put some down here. And then I'm going to line up. Oops, which way does this go? Goes this way. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. Like so. Now on this particular piece, I really only need one of the flowers on here. There is a die that out of this whole big cluster, it will die cut just it'll die cut this larger rose with those leaves. But since I have this here, I might as well go ahead and ink up the whole thing. So now I'm going to bring in Bubble Bath and my brush for my pink. I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to go over this and fill these in. So like I mentioned before, I am filming this on Tuesday, May 21st. And I saw that, there was some really intense weather that was going on up northwest from me. So like up in Iowa, I've seen some of the videos that were shown of like all that damage in Iowa. So prayers to everyone that, that was affected by those storms, and for everyone that's still going to be in the path of more storms, because my understanding is that there's going to be a few days of intense weather. And from what I'm seeing, a lot of that's happening northwest from where I'm at. But you can never rule out. I think we are, there's those five risks, and we're at the very, I think like risk one, the very bottom of it. And so, but you just never know. One of the things that, people have been experienced with these storms is, not just tornadoes, but then also like straight line winds, which straight line winds could be just as bad. Because straight line winds, I can tell you, is something definitely that we do experience here in Memphis since I've been living here, which has been 2012. I have experienced seeing that straight line wind more than once. And of course, we're still in spring. It's not quite summer yet, but this is that time of year where the weather is just, it's, it can be very scary. I can tell you that. I mean, I'm all for a good storm, but the one thing I will tell you is I do not like when these storms happen at nighttime. That's the worst time because you can't see what's going on. And plus, I'll tell you what, I don't really get much sleep whenever that's happening at nighttime. Okay, so I'm coming in, I'm just cleaning off my mask because I will be using this again and I'm using a different color. So again, I'm being a little gentle because of this one piece right here. I don't want to bend it. I want to also make sure that I got the ink off of it. Okay, let me set that aside and then let me bring in, is this number two? Yep, number two. So let me take this one and let me line this one up, and I don't see. And I think I have it. Kind of looking at these little flowers up here. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to bring in my Moody Mauve. Now for this layer, I want to do a light touch with this one because Moody Mauve is a dark color. So I'm going to do a layer of this color, and then when I bring in the third mask, I'm going to use this color again. And you can see it's a pretty dark color. So I just want to take a light hand to this. Okay, let's take this off. You see a nice little bit darker right there. Okay, that aside. And let's bring in our third stencil. And let's line this one up. So this is going to be the center of our flowers here. So I'll line those up. Line it up right there. Okay, take that down. And then I'm going to come in with that color again and go over this. Okay, so that's all of our flowers. Very pretty. That would be pretty too on if it's done on very vanilla, so it'll have a really nice vintage type of feel to it. Moody mauve is definitely one of those intense colors. Okay, right, and let me put that aside. Okay, so now I'm done with. Now, when you're doing this, if you were doing a card front panel where you were going to use this on the card, you want to be mindful when you're doing the inking. If your edge of your decorative mask is up the edge of it is off of your card front piece, because that's what'll happen. Now I'm die cutting this, so I'm not concerned or worried about that. Okay, so I'm done with the pinks. Now for this one, let's see, what colors am I using for this one? Um, what did I do? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Where's my sample card? The sample card disappeared. Um, I got it. I got it. All right, so for this one, my leaves are not going to be green. I'm actually going to bring in that pebbled path color. And where is it? It's right here. And I'm going to bring in stencil number 4. So where's 4? There it is. And 4 goes this way. I'm going to line this up on my leaves, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to ink this up. This is my brush that I use for my grays. And I'm going to fill this in. So this pebbled path is kind of like a grayish brown color, and it goes really good with that rosy type color of the moody mauve. Okay, so there's that one. Let me clean this off. When we go to use these sleeve decorative masks, again, on our last card, we'll be doing green and not this color. Okay, so that's wiped down. Now let me bring in my last mask and we'll place this one over our leaves. So let's try and get this lined up. Line it up there. Right there, does it look good? Okay, tape it down. And then we'll come in with our color again. Okay, so we're done with that. And as far as this color goes, let me go and move this brush out of my way since we're done with that. And then also my pink brush, we're done with the pink now. Okay, so now let me remove this mask and reveal our finished flower, our rose cluster. And let me clean this up really quick. Okay, put that down. Okay, so now let me get these messy baby wipes out of the way. And let's remove this. Okay, we'll just tuck that tape behind. Now, there's our whole cluster. However, I'm only going to use this one here. So I'm going to die cut it out with this die right here. So let me go ahead and kind of move this out of the way. And let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And kind of move that out of the way. And then let me bring in more of that Post-it tape. So this is what it looks like. This is a bigger roll. So I bought this, actually I bought this quite a while ago. So I just need a piece like this. I tear it into smaller pieces and usually I can use this quite a few times before I need to replace it with more. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so on here, I'm going to line up this die here. And again, I didn't have to color the whole entire piece, but since I was coloring that one anyway, why not? But I really like the vintage feel of the Moody Mauve Bubble Bath and that Pebble Path together. Okay, so then there is our piece right there. And then Let me put this die away. Then I'm going to bring and put this aside. And then I'm going to bring in my bigger piece. And we'll die cut this out. And get it all lined up. Move it over a little bit. Okay, we'll tape this down. Mhm. And we'll run it through. Mhm. Off our tape. Now the one thing I didn't do with this tape, I didn't like stick it on my clothes to remove a little bit of the stickiness that's on it. So if there's any sticky residue that's on your die cut piece, you can just simply rub it off, but I don't feel any of it on there, so we're good. Okay, so let me put that die aside. Let me get this out of the way and let's get our card assembled. Okay, so let's bring all of this in. Okay, so on this piece, I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of this. I'm going to stick this straight down. We're not going to pop this up. And of course, I can't get my adhesive to work. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to come in with this and I'm going to stick this down like so right here. Okay, and then on this individual rose, it does cut out a little bit of the border of the other one, but that's okay because what we're going to do is we're going to place this directly over that stamped image. To remove those. And then I'm going to line this up like so. We're just going to place that right over that. So that's kind of like, what is that technique called? It's mm, spotlight. Spotlight. Okay. And then, speaking of spotlight, last Saturday, which was technically only a couple of days ago, I did have my in-person spotlight on nature class. And I can tell you that those projects came out super duper cute. And we did a technique called pop-in pastels, where we used our soft pastels that we sell in our annual catalog. So it's a really, really cool technique. It's an old one, but I'm gonna definitely incorporate that technique in one of my lives. Okay, so for this project, I'm going to bring in the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And so in this pack, this is the colors that are technically in here. This is Lemon Lime Twist, but it looks more yellow. So you can definitely use this on a card if you wanted like a yellow embellishment. This color here is actually Berry Burst, but Berry Burst is going to work very well on this project. And then there's Blueberry Bushel and Shaded Spruce. So I'm going to take 3 of my Berry Burst ones and I'm going to add these, like 1 large one and 2 of the smaller ones. And let's see, we're going to add this one like right in here. Okay, so that is our second card. So very, oh wait, nope, 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 we're not done. We're not done yet. Let's bring in the Wink of Stella, as we need to add some to our rose. I'm just going to add some. I'm not worrying about the leaves or anything. I'm just going to put it on the flower itself. And I think this one's on its way out. I don't want to squeeze this because I don't want there to be a puddle that comes out. That wouldn't be good. Okay, now, let me make sure that's clean. Okay. Now the card's done. So there is our second card. So just everything kind of just blends in with everything, and then we have that pop of color with that rose. Okay, so now let me bring in the stuff for my third card. And I really, really love this card. This card, actually, I didn't bring it in here, but this card reminds me of a water tumbler that I got. Actually, you know what? Let me quickly go and get it because I really want to show you, and you're going to see how well this really, um, it just resembles it. And I thought it was really, really cool. So let me go and grab it really quick. Being that I'm in an apartment, it's not like I have to, you know, well, I am walking to the other end of it, but it's not too far. So let me show you what the inspiration for this card is. So this is my Texas water tumbler. I got this when I went to Houston for our on-stage event that we had in the middle of March. So what was nice, in our hotel, we had a Starbucks. So of course, every day, every morning, I had to go and get my coffee. And of course, I got my, you are here or you are there series mugs. And I saw this water tumbler and I thought it was really cool. So my next card is going to kind of resemble this cup actually. So let me move my cup out of the way and let me bring in the pieces that I need for my third card. Okay, so for this card, let me bring in these pieces. Now, one of these little pieces for this card, I did stamp and I had die cut it out ahead of time. So I have a piece of Night of Navy. This measures 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4.25. I have another piece of Night of Navy. This measures 5.25 by 4. And ahead of time, I went ahead and I embossed it using the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. Now, this is in our annual catalog. This has been out for a while, so it did carry over from our last one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm actually going to adhere that to my card base since we have that done already. So I'll burnish that and then I'll add some adhesive to the back of this. Okay. And we'll place that right in the center, like so. And I'll set that aside. And then there's a little tag piece. Now this is a die that's in the set as well. Let me show you that. So it's this little die right here, a little stitch type of tag. And the greeting in the stamp set that fits in there is God bless. Okay, and I stamped that in Night of Navy ink. So I'll set that aside. Now let me bring in my paper again and let me place that down. And let me take this piece here and let me tape that down. That's not what I want. I want my tape. Tape this down ahead of time. I know that I didn't tape it when I stamped the big image, but it's okay. Okay, so to stamp my image for this one, I am using the basic gray ink. Bring in my stamp. Let's ink this up. I could have also inked this up using the Night of Navy as well. But at the same time, if I use Night of Navy and I put my yellow on there, it could mix with it and then it ends up being green. So now this too has ink on the side of it. So I want to line this up so it fits on the paper. And again, I don't want to put my hand under there because you can see I got ink. Went a little crazy with the ink pad and got it all over the block. All right, so I'm done with my basic gray. I could have used Pebble Path on this as well. Okay, so we have that. Then let me bring in, let's see, the colors of ink that I'm going to use. So for this one, I'm going to use Lemon Lolly. And I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry, the Granny Apple Green, and Lemon Lime Twist. So let me get my first decorative mask here. And let me kind of move this stuff out of my way. And let me line this up. Let's see, that looks good. So we'll tape that down. I want to start off with my Lemon Lolly. And let me get my yellow brush. I'm going to ink this up and add this. Now, Lemon Lolly was one of the new colors that we got when we did the color refresh with our last annual catalog. I really like this yellow. It's a nice, bright pastel yellow. I'm going to add some down here. I think with this bundle, what I may do, like I said, for next month, my in-person class, I don't think I mentioned it's going to be on June 15th. Yeah, I did mention Saturday, June 15th. It goes from 11 a.m. to about 3 p.m. If it goes a little bit longer, that's okay. And we'll create 3 projects, and we'll be using the Take to the Sky suite of products. Now, in our new catalog, that particular suite is vintage airplanes. As a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me show you like really, really quick. So I was thinking, what was I going to do for my class, and what holiday is going on in June, and it's Father's Day. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something that kind of had like that masculine feel to it, but you don't necessarily have to, just use like the greeting that says happiest Father's Day. Um, Flying by to say hi, you're the best, plain and simple, happy birthday to my friend, you always lift me up. So the colors in the paper and all that, it kind of gives you more of a masculine feel. So these particular projects, these are what's in the catalog, but this is going to be the suite of products that I'm going to feature in my next in-person class. So if you are local to me here in Memphis and you are interested in coming, the class, it is a free class at the moment. Now, at some point down the road, I may end up charging. And again, charging is pretty much for covering the cost of replenishing cardstock and paper and embellishments and things like that. So at the moment, all of my in-person classes are free. So if you are interested in coming, again, my email address is in the description of the video. Just reach out to me and I will then send you all the details that'll have the time, the address, and the materials that you would need to bring, and so forth and so forth. So now I'm going to bring in my Daffodil Delight. Now, actually, I didn't put the next one on there. I almost went right over what I just did. Okay, so I can remove the tape off of that particular mask because now this is our last card, so I don't need it again. All right, so let me get my second mask and let's line this one up. Line it up. Okay, we'll tape that down. Now we'll come in with our Daffodil Delight. I end up catching that one little piece right there on my decorative mask. I end up bending it a little bit when I went and cleaned it. So you want to be really gentle and careful when you're cleaning it. Get a little bit more. Okay. So let's remove this one. Okay, and we'll remove the tape. And the tape off this one. We'll set that aside. Get rid of this tape. And we'll close this up. And I'll bring in my crushed curry. Then we need this. We need our, nope, that's our leaves. Where's my other? There it is. Okay, so we'll take this one. And let's see, let's line this up. So I usually go by these little dots here that are the center of those little flowers. That's the easiest way to line this all up if you're not going by the little notch up at the top there. Line this up. Yeah, so again, like I mentioned, usually I would go live on Friday evenings, but just because this week, hearing about how the weather could get bad as the we get closer to the weekend, I thought, okay, let me just go ahead and do this one a little bit early and do it and schedule, once I'm done with this, what I'll do is I'll schedule it and it'll go to public at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Friday. So it's just like as if I did come on live, but I'm not really live. That's why it's kind of live. Okay, so we're done with that one. On my sample card, I actually had done the colors a little bit darker. And of course, I can't get the tape off of here. I'll show you my sample card after we're done with this one, and you'll see that the colors, I mean, I use the same colors, but I just added a little bit more. So the colors are a little bit more brighter, but this still works because the yellow will definitely pop up against that navy blue. Okay, so we're done with stamping or coloring with all our yellow. So now for my leaves, I'm going to do my lemon lime twist and granny apple green. So let me take my yellow brush and let me get that out of the way. And then let's bring in my next stencil, which is number 4. And I'm going to line this up like so. Okay, come on. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so for my green, let me kind of clean this off because I am using a lighter green. Okay, that should be good. So we're going to go with lemon lime twist. Okay. Lemon lime twist was another color. It was once an in color, and when we did our color refresh, it made a return into our core colors. So I'm really happy that this one came back. And I think in the same year that this color was an in color, so was Berry Burst. And that color came back too when we did the color refresh with with the previous catalog. So 2 colors that I really like came back. There's another color that was part of In Colors that had retired, Peekaboo Peach. And this year, the new In Colors that we do have a peach pie, which is, I think that one is a little bit darker, I think, and maybe a little bit brighter than Peekaboo Peach. But I'm glad that we have a nice bright peachy color. Okay, So we're done with that one. Now let me close this up. And then we got our Granny Apple Green, and let me get our final mask. And let me line this one up. So what are we looking for? We're looking for our little, no, these are the leaves. So let's see. Line it up right here. So let me just get these lined up. Okay, that looks good. Okay. And come in. And then when I'm done, all I have to do is just take these decorative masks and just run them under some water and just let them air dry, and they'll be good to go for the next time I go to use them. Okay, we should be good there. Close up our ink pads. We're done with all of our inking. We used a lot of colors. We had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13 colors of ink for our projects. Isn't that so pretty? I mean, I don't have no green on the cup. The leaves are gold, but I thought the roses came very close to matching. So, okay, let me do that. Gonna tuck that back. Okay, and we can get this out of our way. And let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again. How long have we been going? Oh, wow. If I'm seeing that correctly, it's saying that I've been going for like an hour and 52 minutes. Wow, that's a long time. That's a long video. Okay, get this lined up. Again, usually I do this die cutting ahead of time, so that means I've already gone and colored one and have it all done. But because I had actually planned these cards and created the samples today, in order for me to get this video done tonight, yeah, I knew that I would have to do some die cutting during the actual video. So usually when I do my pre-recorded stuff, like on my Throwback Thursdays and stuff, this kind of stuff, when I do it, I just speed it up and I add music to it. And I'll tell you, if I could actually color that fast and die cut that fast, man, I'd get a lot of cards done. Okay, so let me go and put all of this stuff away. We'll close this up, move that. Now let's get our card put together. So the other thing that I'm using for this card, so I'll be using the Glossy Dots assortment. This is Daffodil Delight. Now these embellishments came out quite a while ago, and they've just carried over in the catalog, so they carried over again. The other embellishment that I'm using on this is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. So this comes in a gray granite, a very vanilla, basic white, crumb cake, and basic black. So for this, I'm going to create a double bow. So I'm going to take some of this. I'm going to just do my double bow. The bow is fairly easy to tie. Now I don't want my loops like really, really long. I want them fairly small. Okay, make that a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to trim this down. Bring in my scissors. Okay, so there is our bow. I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, so on this piece, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. And again, this bundle is very, very versatile. You can stamp this big image and you can watercolor it. You can color it in with Stampin' Blends or alcohol markers. Um, you can color it in with pastels. I mean, it whatever type of medium, there's a lot of possibilities with this bundle. I really like that. Okay, so then I'm going to make sure I got my card opened the right way, and I'm going to add this, let's see, right about here. And then I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back of my tag. So, and then I'm going to add that right here. And then I'm going to bring in some glue dots. Now these glue dots are from a previous paper pumpkin kit. So since I have them, I'm going to use them because I have plenty of them. So I'm going to take two of them. I'm going to add one on either side of the hole in the tag because I want a little bit extra adhesive holding down my my bow. I'm going to stick that right there. Now we got two more do our embellishment. So I'm going to take, there's three different sizes on these glossy dots. So I'm going to add one of each size. We'll add one there, one down here, and then our tiny one right up here. Okay, so we're done with that. And of course, just like our other ones, we're going to add some Wink of Stella on all of our flowers. So I did squeeze this a little bit before I put the cap on. So I do have a little bit more of Wink of Stella on my brush now. I really like how these yellow roses came out. And then of course when you're doing this, these little flowers, instead of using the same color as these roses, you can certainly brush, do them in different colors as well. Did I get it up there? Yeah, I did. We got one more. Okay, so there we go. Did we get up here? We did now. Okay, so let's kind of move some of the stuff out of our way and let me bring in the other cards that I did tonight. So here was our first card. I really love the boldness of that blue. Blueberry bushel is just a really nice, like it's dark, it's a dark blue, but it's a nice bright blue. So I really like that. I really love how this one came out. Then this is our second one that's more like on the vintagey side with the mauves and the are I want to say if you look at it, it's like a grayish brown color. So I really love how this one came out. And then of course, here's our third one, which kind of like mimics the tumbler that the Starbucks tumbler that I got when I was in Texas back in March. So thought that was pretty cool. So there is, I really love the yellow, how it pops on the navy blue. So there are our three projects for this Friday night Kinda Live. And again, if you would like the free card kits for the projects that I made tonight, you would get all of the pre-cut cardstock pieces. This particular circle die, I will cut that out for you and I will do the embossing on those pieces, but you will need the stamp set, the dies, and the mask in order to do that part there. I cannot pre-stamp, pre-color, and do all that other stuff that you would do. Um, and again, in order to get the free card kits, it's a minimum $35 order in my online store, which the link to that is in the description below. Place the order by midnight on next Wednesday, May 29th, and I will send these out to you. Also, again, if you are not working with another demonstrator and you would like our new annual catalog, again, my email is in the description of the video. Just simply send me an email. Let me know that you would like one. Please provide your full name and your full mailing address, and I will get one out to you. And also, if you would like to be on my newsletter list, you typically once a month, I will send one out letting you know the stuff that I'll be doing on my YouTube channel. Any of the classes I do offer a monthly Christmas card club as well. So that information's in the newsletter along with the class that I will be having for that upcoming month. And then any Stampin' Up news that's in there to let you know what's happening, what's going on, and all that. So, everyone, have a blessed one. Be safe. You know, if you're in those areas where there's going to be storms and all that, please be safe. And I will see you next Friday. Bye bye.